Hello, I'm Colin.
And I'm John.
How are you both doing? See them?
All right. Looking forward to the weekend. Need some time off.
It's been a hectic wee time, eh? So
Mm.
I looking forward to a long lie and a bit of rest and not to think about work. And how are you, John?
But the same. Cold, just in for a wee walk with the dog. I was up about 6:30 this morning. Felt terrible. Normally been sleeping at 8 during the Christmas break.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And
How are how are you? You good?
I'm all
You
right.
well?
Aye, it's funny. I was just saying to Colin before we started recording. You sort of forget what day you're on, eh? Like we have the giveaway for 2 tickets for the Rangers game now. I think we probably left it too late to get it sorted out. Well, maybe we could do this. If you've not got a ticket for the Rangers game and you're wanting one and you're watching on YouTube, put your details in the comments, or in fact email us longbangers@gmail.com, and we'll put you in the draw for it. If we get any entrants, then we'll try and find a good home for them. Right, we will get kicked off for it. But first of all, John, while I'm getting the old screen set up, you can tell us how you think the game's going to go.
It's a good question. I think it's going to be interesting because I didn't expect Rangers to beat Celtic at the weekend. I thought that Hibs might come away with the 3 points against St Johnstone, and well, Rangers won. Hibs drew after coming from behind. So I think the suggestion recently that Rangers form away from home, like it might play a part,
Hmm.
but also you kind take away from the fact that they did beat Celtic. But there was an interesting comment from Brendan Rodgers where he was talking about, I think it was something to do with them potentially going 14 points clear in the title race, and now it's only 11, and they thought that that maybe played into their minds a wee bit. And I thought, well, are we saying that the Celtic players have got a wee bit weak mentality at certain points as well?
I need somebody to shout at them.
Just thought it was topical given what we've been talking about for a number of months. Uh, I thought Hibs done well to come back from a goal down. Obviously, it wasn't the result that we wanted, but they were still a goal down. They were against a typically dogged St Johnstone team who were down to 10 men who were probably packing the box, and we got a point back. So I think there's something to be some small glimmer of positivity to be taken for that.
Colin, it was an interesting one on the phone in last night. I think Ian said it was the worst performance of the season, and then other John said he thought it was at a different game to the one that Ian had seen. Um, we never really kind of got a chance to speak to you too much about it last night because we gave the floor to the phone-in guests. What did you think of the game?
It wasn't a great game, but then I don't think anybody expected it to be a great game, eh? But I think with them getting a man sent off, we should have we should have taken advantage of it, and we
Mhm.
didn't. We came away with it, with the come back for a goal down because of another mistake. Um, but at least we did come for the goal down because I think somebody said that last night. Earlier this season, that was a game we would have lost. Or actually, over the last few seasons, we've went to a ground where we hope to get a win, lose a goal, and then never come back for it. Come away with a 1 or a 2-0
Yeah,
loss. So to come out with a draw, so it shows a bit of character about the team. But on the other hand, it is the worst team in the league again with 10 men. Um, but in the bigger picture, if you look at the last 7 games, we would have all taken what 5 wins, a draw, and a loss. Um, out of the 7, but it's just who the draw came against, isn't it?
Mhm.
That's causing the thing. But nobody was predicting to win at Pittodrie and at Tynecastle. If we traded one of them for a draw for a win yesterday, we would all be delighted with that. It's just
Aye.
that it's the game that happened and that's caused a wee bit of thing. And again, another mistake. You know what I mean? That does it. It is a bit of a worry the weakness of the squad as well.
Mhm.
Despite having a big squad with no quality, and certainly in backup, we've maybe got 12, 13 players that you can kind of rely on and trust. And as soon as you bring other ones in, that's and I don't know there's always going to be a first choice team, but it's quite a drop off. I think New York to Quan's a big drop off, and that's despite us thinking we still need better than New. Never mind
Mhm.
Quan. So I trying to be upbeat about it, but it wasn't a brilliant. It was a decent result, wasn't it? A great result or a good result.
I think the conceding the penalty just before half time, that totally killed the game overall because it gave St Johnstone something to hang on to. They just that's what they did. They just defended and we struggled to break them down. Right, we'll get into the Rangers chat just now, but just before we do that, a couple of comments on YouTube already. Ian said, "Hiya, chap and chapettes. Sorry, but should always beat bottom of the league club when they only have 10 men for most of the game. And saying that, we're still playing with a team that have played so badly since the start of the season." Martin Metcalf said, "Hello, gents. Hi, Martin." Ron Allen says, "Hi, guys. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well, Ron." And Paul Anderson says, "I think we should remember it was only a few weeks ago we were bottom." I think that's a good point as well. I mean, it wasn't long ago that we were, the foot of the table and had Hearts fans tweeting us rock bottom hilariously. Right. Rangers on Sunday, big game. And again, probably would have been better going into this one still with the momentum of keeping on winning, but it has definitely been going in better than having lost the game on Thursday. What fucking day is this? Friday? It was just yesterday we played, eh?
Yep.
Fuck it, this time of year is absolutely murder for getting your head around what actual day it is, and because they're playing football at different times. And what was it? Playing the Old Firm game at 3:00 yesterday as well. What happened to no playing games at the same time as the other ones if they're live on TV? They just
it wasn't a Saturday though.
And saying that there was, I think it was the SPFL Stats or maybe Pie and Bovril, one of the a Twitter account like that anyway had posted how many folk had gone, and the attendances across Scotland were massive yesterday. Really strong attendances, and that's where game live on the telly as well.
And on a working day.
And on a working day. So there's probably an argument there that didn't show a game at 3:00 on a Saturday is fucking nonsense.
But it's a rule that's like a whole brand rule, isn't it? Because it's the same down there.
Aye, Sky just patched it. Sky did it with Champions League as well. You're not meant to show a game on Champions League nights, and Sky just went, fuck it, we'll take the fine.
Well,
just played it anyway.
It was Edinburgh Derbies that happened to a couple of times in the Cup replays.
Anyway, right, we're off on a tangent. Colin, your team going to talk us through it. No real surprises here, are there?
Not really much change because we're limited, I think. So Smith and goals, back three, O'Hara, Bashiri, Iredale, assuming they're fit. So this assumes obviously everybody's fit. Right? Cadden and the Cadden twins on the wing back or right and left midfield, and then Triantis and Newell, because I think Newell will be back. I think that's why he didn't play yesterday, was to be fit for Sunday. Left Campbell in that 10 role, if you want to call it that, and then Boyle, and put Galen up front with Boyle, because my assumption there is that Ewan's still injured or not playing for another reason. But I think he was meant to have been tested before the game yesterday and he wasn't even fit enough for the bench. So I'm thinking he's not going to be ready. And if he is ready, he's maybe on the bench and he comes on for Gale, because I don't think Gale looks fucking knackered most of the time, so I don't think he'll play a whole game.
I think Gale's just got one of those faces that looks knackered. Can some players do that? They just have a
I don't
face
know if it's
tired.
face. It's the way, like, huffs and puffs when you get away after a run. But
it's Noise face. It's Noise face, because I looked at a picture of him this morning somewhere, and he looks like a young laddie. Like, he looks like he's, I don't know, like 23, 24.
Just a tired demeanour.
Aye, I think it's his body language. But he makes so many good runs and all that. I think it would be quite good to have him up there on Sunday, because if we get chances, we need to take some more chances. We went through a run of scoring 3 a game, and clearly we need to score a couple of goals because we've got mistakes in us. So we need to cover that up by scoring at the other end.
See the point about mistakes, Colin, is it no that at the weekend that we made a mistake that was punished where we hadn't been previously? So
potentially, aye, because if you think of the derby, there was the 2 mistakes that I remember, and there was only one that got punished in it as well. So aye, and we did go through a spell of every mistake getting punished early in the season when we were bottom of the league, and I was saying that can't go on forever. So maybe it'll balance out, and it's only 1 and 2 now that'll get punished. I don't know, but we are creating more chances, as the Observer have posted earlier. Like, our XG suggests we should be scoring more goals than we are. So let's start taking more of the chances, and then that takes the heat off the defenders when they do make a mistake.
Joe Capaldi sent in a team, Colin, which isn't really that dissimilar to yours. The difference is got Miller on the right instead of Chris Cadden, and Levitt instead of Campbell. in the number 10. Levitt, John came on in the second half against St Johnstone. Did he do enough to play his way into the team for you?
I don't think he's got the legs for this type of game. To be brutally honest, I can't remember how it was that I described him before. Is an octogenarian maybe pulling a cart horse?
Is that
He's
an
just
octopus? Did you say he's like an octopus?
Octogenarian.
Right.
Uh,
Is that an
no,
old octopus?
aye. It's an old eight-legged. Well, you didn't get more than eight-legged octopuses, do you? Or
Oh,
octopi, if you want to get technical. Where were we? Levitt.
deep
No,
underwater by the sound of it.
no. He's not got the legs, and I don't think that Hibs have the legs around them that would support him in midfield, like say we had McGeoch and McGinn previously, or other runners in the team that supported Scott Allen. So it's no the type of game for Levitt. Might be later on if we're a couple goals up and we need someone to spray the ball about a wee bit. But and I think this is a game where we're going to be required to do a lot of running. He's not got it in him. He's not got the pace and he's not got the stamina to do it.
And Colin, one of the other faces that came off the bench yesterday that probably we weren't expecting to see was Harry McCurdy. Did he come into your thoughts at all when you're looking at your front two?
No.
Nah, didn't think so. I thought I would check just to cover the base.
I was saying to someone recently, I don't know if it was on the podcast or if it was someone at the Boundary Bar, but I completely forgot about Harry McCurdy and Dylan Levitt.
It's easy done. I think because we've
I don't
had
know
such a
whether
settled team, isn't it? Like there's a few players that are in the sort of the periphery of the squad that because they're not often quoted on the bench or in the first team, you do just kind of forget that they're there.
Yeah.
John, this is your team. So you and I picked the exact same team, by the way. I've given us both a slide each, but it's the exact same team that we picked.
I was going to say that's not my team because I had Boyle and Ewan the other way around.
Well,
attention to detail.
It's the same team. Right, they'll switch a bit. They didn't just stand still, John. They run about and cross over. Right, talk me through why you picked a team like that.
Well, I put a horror back in for much the same reason as I think Colin was alluding to with Newell. I don't know that he's definitely fit. I don't know that he's definitely not going to make it. So on the assumption that he's even half fit and got a wee rest against St Johnstone, I'm going to put him in the right side of the back three. The rest of it just sort of picks itself. I hadn't considered Gale as being a starter because that if he's a starter, that pretty much means that you're guaranteed having to make a sub at some point because we know that he can't last the 90 minutes. We're not sure if he can manage 45. So that's
70 odds the other week.
Aye,
is it 70 odd minutes
for the start? Yeah,
I take it back.
Was it the Ross County game at home? Maybe.
Aye, it was
Ross County.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's. But obviously, like with having Ewan up front, we're not quite sure of the situation with him, whether it is a foot injury or whether it's Stoke or Basel or Bal sniffing about. I'd like to think it's none of them, but it is a wee sore foot, and he's going to be back to score the winner against Rangers.
I hope he's fit. I mean, certainly with that, when I was picking my team, I was like, right, in an ideal world, I'd have Ewan and Boyle up top. No thought for Lewis Miller, John. You brought Chris Cadden in and O'Hara on the right hand side. You know, Miller not done enough to keep his place.
It's more it's a recency thing. So at the weekend there, we conceded after I think Miller gave away a corner pretty needlessly. So that's a wee mistake in my mind, and I'm thinking, nah, not having it. So O'Hara's back in for him.
So you're basically punishing Miller. So if we defended that corner, or just no fouled the boy and the ball sailed over everybody's head, Miller would have kept his place in the team. But because Rocky's pulled the boy down, you're dropping Miller for it.
Well, it's how far do you want to go? That's the thought, and I think that's a really good point to pick up because I think like how far back do you go to apportion blame?
Parents.
And I think we are very good at looking at all of the errors rather than where we could have stopped it from happening. So, but
you
Miller
kept Rocky in, no?
Miller
like
had a
recency, you dropped Miller for conceding a corner and kept Rocky in for conceding a penalty.
That's true. But the thing is, if you remember Tynecastle, Bushiri, he's danced with the flag. Folk are singing his name. He scored an own goal. But it was a freak occurrence, and Miller, I think, is more capable and has been more culpable for mistakes recently.
How do
He
you
regu-
define freak occurrence? Because I can think of 3 in the last 3 games. For Rocky. Yeah, two caused goals and one didn't.
I can't remember them. Move on.
Move on. I'm only pulling your leg
The
anyway, John.
Tynecastle
I
one, the
get your logic,
Tynecastle
but
one, the Tynecastle one, the
Both
pulling the boy down.
two in the
and-
Tynecastle.
two
Slipped
in
on his arse in the
Tynecastle.
last minute and Shankland didn't take the chance.
Okay, I was already celebrating that point. That's why I couldn't remember it.
Right, Martin says, not sure why we implode with 10 men, whereas when playing against 10, they're hard to play against. I made that point at the weekend as well. As somebody said, it's always hard to play against 10 men. You go, except when it's us. He says, Ian said, I hate to say Rangers look really good, but Celtic were so bad, could hardly put 2 passes together. I think if we can get in their faces, we can get at least a point. Green T says, the rule live games on TV when full schedule has, I believe, changed. Kenny says 1 point in the last 11 games against them. Time to change that. We'll probably talk about our record against Rangers because that's been pretty honking for a wee while now. Ian says we'll always be likely to make stupid mistakes with our current squad, I'm afraid. Lewis said, random question, but does anyone know why Block 7 have their banners upside down? I just presume it's because when they're looking at it, it looks right way up. When you lean over the advertising board, it
Same
looks
reason
right way
have
up.
folk have their scarves upside down when they put it above their head, can that?
They just not paid attention.
Yeah.
What I like noticing, and this is just a total off on a tangent thing. When you Hibs play Sunshine on Leith and everybody had their scarves up, see how many people hold up a scarf when they've not got a scarf?
No.
They stand like this as if they're holding on to the scarf, but they just didn't have the scarf. Why would you do that?
That's amazing. I need to watch out for that.
Tell you,
Hopefully see it on Sunday.
Well, aye. Go back and review any time we've played it. You will see at least 2 or 3 folk standing without a scarf holding their non-existent scarf up. And then I wonder if the Hearts fans do that stupid twirly thing if they've not got a scarf.
That's exactly where Marvin's head was going.
Was
I
it?
wonder if they stand and do that. Aye.
We didn't want Sunshine on Leith played if we beat Rangers, do we?
That's what happened. We do when we beat Celtic.
Oh, Barry, please don't.
Tam said our form and performances appear to be levelling off again after a purple patch of form, and in and around 7th is probably about right for this squad. Ian says an anti-board thing, which is it goes back to the Block 7 guys. It is that. It's like a wee protesting the Ultras doing it. I was only joking about it being the right way up, the way that they look at it.
See if you win 5 out of 7, draw 1 and lose 1. Why does a draw mean that it's leveling off? Like, and what constitutes leveling off? You see what I mean?
Aye, well, we peaked with the wins, and it's like plateaued, hasn't it? But if anything, it's dropped off to go down to a draw.
Does that mean that we just ignore the record over 7 games because we drew against the Johnson?
No.
I'm trying to understand the question a little bit more because I don't know. I wouldn't have considered the draw at St Johnstone a leveling off.
The guys, he's just messaged it in, so you're still listening. Message it back in properly for John.
Ian said, I don't think we get away with Boyle and Ewan against Old Firm. Was one of Monty's bugbears for me. They don't work hard enough out of possession to track back and challenge and press effectively, etc. I think that's like a fair point for him, but the reason I put him in, so here's my team up on the screen, John, you'll notice it's just the same as yours, but I've flipped Ewan and Boyle around. It's the pace. I think Rangers are susceptible to fast players, and if we can get in behind them, we will get space behind them because Rangers press high. And we saw it at Ibrox that we were able to kind of get in behind them. So a similar sort of performance, I think we can create chances and do some damage. I brought O'Hara back in as well, John, not because of the corner that Miller gave away, but just because I think O'Hara's a natural centre half, whereas Miller isn't, and I think you would rather have that.
We didn't really have anyone else because Egg Potatoes out, so
exactly right. Let's have a wee look at the form guide, which has to speak to your point, John, a minute ago, has started to look better because the
levelled off a bit though.
It was levelled off a bit, but actually,
like see if it was like you had 5 wins and then 5 draws, I would say it's a levelling off. But we've had 1 draw.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Also on the two up front of Ewan and Boyle, or Boyle and Gale, we talked about uh, David Gray going to Tynecastle and being consistent in his selection, consistent in his approach. Would we want to rip all of that up because Rangers, with a poor away record, are coming to Easter Road to do? But what's the alternative? Like to play one up top because we don't have Kaharovic.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. Tam says, John, it was more performances than results that have levelled off. Ross County, second half against 10 men, Kelly, and yesterday against 10 men. I think that's fair.
That's fair.
Like,
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Right, form guide. Actually, this is a really healthy picture considering we've gone from sort of looking at us in 11 and 12 to going mid-table to now tucked in just behind Rangers and Celtic. And I think this is the first time this season that Celtic haven't been top of the form guide as well.
Chance for us. If we were on Sunday, we would talk of that.
Yeah, we would go. We would go top. And actually, it's tell you what, I didn't realise was Ross County beat Aberdeen yesterday as well. Only just as we logged in here, and I was doing a wee quick look to see what had happened because I didn't realise
It's
Aberdeen
tremendous.
played yesterday.
It's tremendous,
They
isn't
are
it?
fucking shite, aren't they?
I'm assuming other fans will be messaging in Radio Scotland saying, "Oh, Mikey and Tom, you were right after all," because we were hammering at the start of the season, saying how much you were wrong, but actually they were right, and they're not that good.
That's it. And aye, they're the. Have Dundee United overtaken them yet in the table?
Aye, goal difference.
Did you see the tweet earlier today that
No.
the Aberdeen fan that was worried about Hearts not being far away from them?
Aye, he's looking too far down the table.
On that point, do you remember who's the boy that's in charge of Hearts? Like we did the TV interview saying that they welcomed the challenge for third. So they came, we want other teams to be challenging us for third. Like, incredible. These buggers, like total lack of self awareness. Right, on to us though. Rangers 2-1 away to St Mirren, 2-2 away to Motherwell. Their away form hasn't been brilliant this season. Our home form has picked up a wee bit. I saw like again, I think it was the SPFL or maybe Pine Bovril, and their Twitter thing had a home and away split for where teams have got their points. And Hibs are more or less 50-50. Our home record is as good or as bad as our away record, depending on how you want to look at it. I think Rangers by far had more points at home than they did away from home. So, John, does that give you some encouragement?
Yes. It's
How
funny
much?
though. It's funny because when was it Tam had said about the form? So like form's just one factor in a football game. Because if you look at the Celtic game when we had a really good performance, or a better performance than we'd been having previously, we were creating chances, just didn't score them. Got beat 3-0. But we had a less than stellar performance against Kilmarnock and come away the victor. So form's one factor. Getting them at Easter Road with the promise of not playing Sunshine and Leith at the end, I think could be beneficial for Hibs. It's always a spicy encounter against Rangers. I think Hibs suit being the underdogs rather than going into the game the favourite. And I think because of our challenges this season, that kind of adds to the underdog feeling. So I'm kind of cautiously optimistic of getting a result. Like I remember, this is showing my age, but do you remember we had back-to-back victories at Easter Road against them? Do you remember the Sebo game where Rob Jones just booted them up and down the pitch? So I had money on Hibs to win that game 2-1 because we'd beaten them in the reverse fixture, however many months it was prior. For the same reason, like I just thought, aye, like we've got them at home, we could beat them. So why not?
Why not, indeed? Colin and David Gray, manager of the month as well. That was announced today, so the team will be getting a lift for that. You would imagine. The weather looks like it's going to be pretty shit on Sunday. Does that help us or hinder us?
I don't know if the weather matters that much, to be honest. I'm more thinking about how Rangers they've put everything into that game yesterday. I've not seen any of the highlights or anything, but apparently they kind of played them off the park. More shots on, like, more shots on goal. Like all the stats say they were the much better team. And Celtic weren't on it. They'll be, they've celebrated it, no doubt, going on the pitch at the end and all that. That's then back to reality on Sunday. Maybe a cold day, and we'll see if they're all coming out with their gloves on and all that. You know what I mean? If they didn't fancy it, it's a good chance. It's a good opportunity to go and do it. I think us maybe getting a wee kick at the arse yesterday and them being on such a high might help us more than the weather.
One thing that we have to hope for on Sunday as well is that these Rangers fans behave themselves and don't be throwing coins at the players. You know, players' safety is absolutely paramount. You know, we hear them talking about that, and you know, keep your coins in your pockets, Rangers fans. Don't be throwing anything on the pitch.
There's a cost of living crisis.
What did you say, John?
There's a cost of living crisis, and they're chucking coins about.
Exactly. It's just a.
But maybe that'll be the blue pound that they keep talking about. Scottish football doomed without it.
Like a fake coin, a wee blue pound. Right, score predictions. We're out of time, so let's get score predictions for you both. Colin.
Hey, I'm going 1-0 Hibs.
1-0 Hibs.
Mm-hmm.
John, you mentioned back in 2-1 earlier on.
2-1.
Previous game, is that what you're going for again?
Aye, I feel like I've set a rod for myself with that one, so 2-1.
I'll go for I think it'll be a score draw, 2-2. An entertaining game, and us to score last as well, which will.
That makes a big difference.
Aye. Then we'll all go away feeling quite happy about ourselves. Hopefully a late in as well. Either a late equaliser or a late winner for us. Either of the two I'll take and be quite ecstatic about.
Will you be on the pitch if it's a late equaliser or a late winner?
No, I'm right at the back of the West Upper, John. I see the time.
It's long enough to get out.
To get down the stairs and through. I'm not jumping down, but I reckon time, because I'm not the fittest, time out took me to get all the way down. The players in that drop it off anyway. Do you know, like they'd have the subs that never go on, then they're warmed in. And I could
Conservatively, if you knew that Hibs were going to score, say, a 92nd minute winner at equaliser, what time would you want to leave your seat to be doing pitch side to get on the pitch in time for it going in?
85.
Even though it was coming, I'd still be worried that I'd miss it. I would just stay in my seat. I'd rather see the goal and just celebrate in my seat, to be fair. Boring bastard.
I sat back row of the East last season beside Liam down the Slope 1 game, way back. Dundee 0-0 game, right? And it was like, I don't know, I didn't move till 90 minutes, I think, right? And there was injury I didn't even get halfway down the stairs because everybody just starts going at 80 odds and then just stop on the stairs. So you're fucked. You didn't go 80 odds in the East.
Aye.
The West wasn't great when I sat up beside you either.
No time for spontaneous pitch invasions. You have to have, like you said, John, you have to have meticulously planned. We could do. I just watched the day of the Jackal call. We were talking about that as well. And there's some amount of planning that this boy has to do to go and do what he needs to do. So we might start doing things like that. I'll just go and scope out Easter Road and figure out like a kind of quick route onto the pitch.
How you get to escape?
A wee parachute or a bungee rope or something like that, and just try to sort of abseil down for the top. I don't know.
I would love to see you getting chased by G4S.
Wouldn't be able to chase it.
Someone try to slide tackle you.
It'd be like lorries overtaking each other. That's what it would look like. It'd be hilarious. Right. Martin suggests it'll be 2-0 to the Rangers, and Ian reckons 1-1 or 2-2.
Nice bit of positivity there. Thanks, man.
We'll finish on the positivity, right? 2-2. Well, scoring last. Right. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Call John. Thanks for your time. Good luck on Sunday. Hope you all enjoy the game. Unless you're a Rangers fan watching, in which case I hope it's a thoroughly miserable experience for you. And keep your coins in your pockets.